Welcome back from the Zerg versus Terran. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I'm back here, of course, with Michael, and we're going to be talking a bit about team complexity, man, because this is a team that I don't think anyone has to be introduced to. Team complexity has very much been around in esports for a while and has built a name for itself. But I gotta say, we haven't really been seeing a lot of like roster changes or anything with team complexity. What's going on with team complexity?
I guess I would kind of compare it to kind of what's going on with EG right now, where we're kind of waiting to Legacy the Void to make any big decisions in the roster changes. So right now we're just kind of especially with QXC going into like his mini retirement or break or whatever you want to say. We're kind of just keeping the same people and waiting to Legacy of the Void to make like any big decisions.
Mm-hmm. And for you, team complexity, what exactly does it mean to you? Is it practice partners? Is it the brand name behind you as a player? Like, what exactly does team complexity provide to you?
I think mainly it's just like support and stability. Stability being like the main thing in esports that people look for, just because organizations come and go that promise one thing or promise another. Where with complexity, it's like it's not really a thing you have to worry about. They've been around. They have multiple gaming teams that they have, and you just know it's going to be around when you need
it. Do you get to practice a lot with? I would say Henderlisk, but I think we both know Henry's practice schedule involves a lot of CS:GO. But do you get to play a lot of games with like other people on Team Complexity?
Yeah, we're all pretty good friends within Complexity, so it's like, for me, it's always kind of been, I practice more like with people who I considered my friends rather than who were on my team, even though usually it was the same people. But for us, we're all like really good friends, and so it's just kind of easy to say, hey, I need practice with this, and then just play games. So yeah, the practice is definitely there with the team.
That's awesome. And it sounds like then you get to do a lot of like the custom game practice and everything.
I think we all still mainly do ladder practice and only kind of practice a certain matchup when, say, you have a tournament coming up or you feel specifically weak.
Yeah.
But I would say that, like, at least I feel like I'm willing to, and like my teammates are willing to do custom games a lot more than other people, just because there's kind of, since we're all good friends, there's no like ego or anything behind that where like you're worried about if you lose a custom game. Like, we don't care. We're just all good friends. So I'd say I play more than others, but not like as much as people would say that you should or think is like the optimal way.
Yeah, that's cool. And do you think that kind of contributes to maybe the ability, like the fact that you can't really invest quite as much time into StarCraft just because of school and everything? You kind of get to make up for it with some of the more dedicated practice you get to do.
Yeah, it definitely helps if you're like, that, oh, I can only commit this many hours of StarCraft this week, and you want to make sure that it's not wasted by getting a hacker on ladder or something like
yeah.
that. You can definitely like guarantee that it's going to be good time.
What would you say has been your biggest accomplishment in StarCraft 2?
I guess my biggest accomplishment would be getting, I think it was top 32 at Red Bull Detroit, just because it's like the only like major tournament that I've been in, and I think I did better than expected, since I got matched up with my teammate Hendrilisk in the first round of the round of 64 bracket, and I ended up winning. So I think that would be my biggest accomplishment so far.
What kind of challenges have you faced in getting some of those bigger accomplishments?
I think, again, it just kind of comes back to me not doing well in WCS, which is kind of what is like the biggest deal. And if you don't get into WCS, you have to, in the qualifiers, you have to wait so long to try and improve yourself again. And depending on your situation at that time, you may be either really prep for it or not at all, depending, like if you have final exams, for example.
Yeah. I want to go back to the WCS stuff, because it sounds like a lot of kind of your breaking out career kind of revolves around that performance in the WCS qualifiers and everything. Do you feel like there's any particular things that you need to be working on, or that you're working toward right now to try and deal with some of those issues? Because it sounds like it's not something that you feel, like you said, it's not like nerves that are like making your hand shake or anything during the qualifiers. It's something else. Do you have anything that you're like working on to try and overcome that?
I think it's mainly being good in all matchups and not having a weak matchup, just because you have no clue what you're like who you're going to face in the qualifiers, and it's important to be good at all matchups. Also, another thing that I think is important is actually to play a lot of ladder before WCS comes up, just because the people that you will be playing are the people that you'll play against on ladder.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like another thing I think that could be important is to, if you can, like smurf on ladder to get experience versus the players that you are going to be playing in those qualifiers, and then not have them know like what your style is and stuff like that.
Yeah. So it sounds like maybe you're a player that performs better under situations where you can kind of prepare a bit more. So it's not just kind of whoever you randomly get paired against in the bracket. It's players that players that you've had some time to think about how you want to play against them.
Yeah, I'd definitely say that's the case. Just because, like, especially when Hendrix was making his big runs in WCS, I was kind of helping do all the, I guess, scouting you want to say, and kind of the brain work. Not that to take any of his credit or something like that,
Yeah.
but I definitely feel like I would be better and am better at preparing for someone specifically, just through the amount of preparation and stuff you can have already in your brain before the match starts.
Well, I know that Zerg versus Protoss is a matchup that some of that preparation can really yield some good results, just because knowing what 2-base all-in they're going to use against you is unbelievably helpful. But how do you feel about Zerg versus Protoss right now?
Right now, my Zerg versus Protoss is, I guess it's okay, but of all the matchups, it's kind of the matchup that varies the most, just because it's kind of the matchup I guess I'm most indecisive about. Like, there'll be like a week or a month in time where I decide I'm just going to play Swarm Host every game and work on playing Swarm Host. And that, I would say, maybe probably ups my win percentage, as people would probably think. But it's also a lot harder to play that style than people give it credit for. But I kind of go back and forth between wanting to play Swarm Host and then not wanting to play Swarm Host. So that kind of makes my ZVP style vary a lot, which I guess makes my practice not as good as it could be if I just stuck to one style or way to play.
One kind of question I've always had for players that go for some more of that Swarm Host or mech style or just the super duper passive late game style is, do you feel like I don't know if you've actually been going for that style in like the WCS qualifiers or anything, but do you feel like going for that style in a qualifier ends up limiting your potential for actually qualifying? So in the sense that you might win that series, you might win that game, but you're just going to be so exhausted you're going to end up losing the next series or the series after that.
Not if you've been practicing a lot, just because you're used to playing those long games and you have the kind of mental stamina to do game after game like that, whereas if someone isn't used to it, they'll be like, oh, he just played this hour-long Swarm Host against me, I guess I'm going to do an Immortal next game, and you kind of gives you the mental edge that way. So I think it's actually more of an advantage than a disadvantage if you practice it and are consistent with it.
And you feel like you are kind of at that place, or switching back and forth has not really gotten you there yet?
Yeah, right now I still like to, I guess, mix it up quite a bit in ZVP, depending on what I scout. I feel like I'm pretty good at understanding what build the Protoss is trying to do at an early time, so I often like to take advantage of that with a mid-game timing that I think a certain build will be weak against, assuming that they don't 2-base all-in, of course.
Yeah, of course. So again, it sounds like we're going back to sort of that reactionary macro play coming out from you then, right?
Yep.
Well, I'm very much looking forward to seeing some more of your Zerg versus Protoss. Before we do that, I want to ask you, if you had to identify one strength and one weakness in the matchup, what would those two things be?
I think for my strength would just be my scouting and understanding of the type of builds that the Protoss has, and I guess the weakness is my patience and not willing to play those long Swarm Host and drawn out games more.
All right. Well, we'll find out if you submitted a Swarm Host game or not in just a couple seconds, guys. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the Zerg versus Protoss.
It's game time! Zerg versus Protoss.
Welcome everyone to the Zerg versus Protoss. I'm joined here once again by Tempo, and we're going to be jumping into the ZVP as I go ahead and spawn up here at the top right-hand corner of the map, top of the red Zerg player, the highlight player of the day. It is Complexity Gaming's Moosegills.
Moosegills? His opponent spawning in the bottom left is going to be the blue Protoss player, the enemy. Not really, just the guy that Moosegills will be.
We all want to lose.
Be... Boreal Black Bear me. Or BBM.
All right. and we're not going to lie to you, ladies and gentlemen, we tried to do some research on this guy. We tried to figure out who he was. Whoa, esports, we do know. EJK, who's also another player on Breaking Out from Season 2 as well as this season, is on Boreal Esports. But Black Bear Me is no longer, at least in the clan, Boreal Esports, so we don't know if he's actually, like, a Boreal Esports member, if he was just, like, visiting, if this is, like, just his visitor pass clan tag.
Yeah.
We also don't know if this is like a Smurf of Panda Bear Me just because of the similarity in name. Like, we have no idea. We're just gonna put it. We don't know who this guy is, but he is 23rd on the ladder right now, so he's got to be pretty good. He's pretty good.
Yeah, he's better than me. Yeah.
Or maybe
has
he
the MMR to play against the best Zerg player in the world.
Oh my
Moosegills.
god, Moosegills, best Zerg player in the world, hands down, uncontested. But is Moosegills prepared for the Forge first opening? He is. He went for his spawning pool first.
Oh god, you're right. Yeah, he is gonna be going for that pool first. He should be okay. And you know what? I was wondering if black bears did live in like the boreal forest. You know what I mean? Like maybe he was just strolling through
the boreal forest.
Hey, can I join your clan?
Tempo.
I kind of know.
Ignorant American here. I don't know if you're also an ignorant American. Does Boreal have? Are you just saying yes to the question I'm about to ask, or are you saying yes? You're also an ignorant American.
Yes, that you can. That I'm an ignorant American as well.
Okay. Okay, I thought you were just like preemptively answering my question. And I was like, does Boreal have a forest? Like, is that a thing? How big is Boreal a place, or is that just like I don't even know?
Boreal Forest of Canada.
Boreal
wow,
Forest.
So,
can we start that? Can we start that?
No, it's legit. Boreal Forest of Canada. Canada has a boreal forest.
Oh my god. Is there an entire show about it where they have the Parks and Rec department there? They like the Canadian version of Parks and Rec? Oh, that'd be beautiful.
Yeah. That would be fun.
I would watch that show.
And I would hope that, yeah, both of these...
As long as Moosegills
is on it, from?
He's Canadian.
He's from...
He's Canadian.
Okay, that's what I thought. As long as Moosegills would be on it?
Yeah. Of course, man. How else did he encounter this vicious black bear in the boreal forest?
And he even said me just to make sure that you knew that it was him, not like you're the black bear. Like, no, I am the black bear. Like, I'm the Batman, you know?
Yeah, he used to be known as the Black Bear, but there ended up being another Black Bear, so he had to change his name to Black Bear Me.
Exactly. Because that confusion is kind of, it's difficult sometimes to deal with, you know? You gotta...
You
never know.
We should talk about the game, probably.
Okay, so it looks like Forge first. I mean, the thing about the Forge expand is that in the first 6 minutes of the game, there really is nothing that does go on. And Moosegills is looking like he will be opening up with the gas list. He's already scouted it. There was a little bit of some shenanigans at the natural, but upon realizing that it was not a hatch first, Black Bear Me decided to drop down the cannon and the Nexus. So just now getting his cyber core. Indeed. But you know what? Now we got something to talk about. Chrono Boost on the cybernetics core here for Black Bear Me.
Third gas guys are
also gateways.
Yep. I'm wondering. Okay, I don't think it's gonna be like some sort of crazy 7-gate or anything, because if you go for the 7-gater, that kind of build, you don't usually go for the early or extra gas guys as well. So
I think he's just selling it though.
Yeah.
Like that Overlord.
Maybe.
It's like, okay, I'm taking the gas, man.
Oh, the Stalker trying to pick off this Overlord. Oh my god, Moosegills' Overlord is giving this Stalker jukes for days. His Stalker's just been running back and forth, and Moosegills, he's running back, the Stalker's just like, let me, come on, man, come on.
That Stalker is not going to stop at, Moosegills is not going to let that Overlord die. You need to just let it go.
And he's going to get an Overlord in the main base. He's going to be able to scout out not only the gas guys in the main, but he's going to see the Stargate over here. And that is the important find. He's gonna see the extra forge. What is this extra forge? Okay, hold on. Tempo. This is just spitballing here. Is this like next level Mind Games forge where he had a forge in the main base and he was planning to only get one upgrade? But then Moosegills will scout out the forge at the natural expansion, and he'd be like, oh, there's no +1 weapons being researched. But really, there's +1 weapons being researched in the main. Or was that just like a double forge?
A very good point, especially because it was going to be a Phoenix, I believe. And then he canceled the Phoenix. He was going to do maybe a Phoenix Zealot all in. He canceled the Phoenix and made an Oracle now, and then is taking a third. So yes, I think you were actually completely right there.
Next level mind
I mean, it
games.
sounded really like ha ha ha. Maybe right. Next,
Yeah.
no, it actually. I think you
think
were
that actually may have
on
been the case.
on point.
Like he's not getting +1 armor right now for this forge.
No.
He's going for the third. I think he's changed his game plan over here. And Moosegills spots out the change of game plan. He has that Overlord, that Juke City Overlord. He's been playing. I don't know. Maybe he's been playing. Oh my God, what is that awesome like skateboarding game for the Dreamcast? Jet Set Radio. That's like one of the Jet Set Radio skaters. That's like avoiding the cops.
Yep. Trying to tag them walls. He's just like he's like, come on, man, let me just tag your gas. I just want to see it.
Sorry, Oracle is doing some good damage. He's gotten up to 8 drone kills over here at the third. No spore claws are thrown down. He was just relying on the
Black Remy
queens.
is gonna have to deal with this. Roach laying counterattack.
Yeah.
Force fielding himself out. He's not going to be able to defend his third except for with that photon overcharge. There it's going to go. There's a cannon here as well, but that third is going down.
Oh, yeah,
Oracle's
there's no
probably
way.
going to go to try to get something done too, though, for counter damage.
Black Bear Me going to be finding deforestation happening as third expansion, losing the Nexus and the gateways, and sure, the Motor Core can pick away at these guys.
For sure.
Oh,
Because he is
definitely.
supply blocked here, cannot make any more.
That's actually brutal right now. He's only got a couple. I mean, he could force field a delay for a little bit, but he's only got 1 photon overcharge. That's all he's really got. He's got a delay until he gets unsupply block. He has 3 pylons on the way. He's doing a good job of it so far, but he's gonna be losing this forge. No +1 armor coming out. Actually, forces Moosegills back for a bit. Actually, Moosegills could probably be happy with these trades already. Like canceling the third, you're happy.
Already, yeah. Exactly. Behind this, he droned up all the way up to 57. He's mining the gas at his third. Going into Roach Ling, but he will add the Hydras. Straight up Roach Hydra. And there's no infestation pit here, so it's not like he's going for the Roach Hydra Viper timing or anything like that. So,
I mean,
I'm thinking...
If you look at like Black Bear's army also, because Moosegill's got it. Moosegill's gonna get another cancel on this, first of all.
Oh my God, yeah, that is going down. There's a lot of sentries energy here, but I don't think it's even worth it to try to save it, Yeah,
I mean, what are you gonna like? You force field like 6 times, and then the Zergons just go on top of your sentries. Like the Zergons just go kill your sentries at that point. They're like, okay, if you're that committed to defending your Nexus, I'll kill the rest of your army. But yeah, like that army is not that big right now for Black Bear Army. I don't think that Moosegills even has to be worried about an attack right now. Like that's why he's been able to go up to 67 drones. That's why he's been able to delay that tech and everything. Because now he can go for the tech. Because there's no real concern about being punished for it.
Nope. The fact that Black Bear Me wanted to get this third up and still hasn't managed to get it is a little bit difficult here for him to deal with. Black Bear Me, you know, he's only gone for Blink Stalkers. He is getting +1. Well, +1 is already done, but he's getting +2/+2. But I think this is why we're not seeing the Hive or the Infestation Pit just out of Moosegills yet. Roach Hydra will deal with this kind of composition without the Colossi. And if he's able to deny that third, that means that Black Bear Me will never have enough gas to actually fund the Colossi training tuition. No, he needs it.
He really does right now. Even a Konica. Oh my God, even sending a couple, just a small segment of units, they'll kill off that photon cannon, not really committing in, waiting for Black Bear Me to say, well, okay, you got to move into your natural, you're going to defend your natural at some point, and he's going to be moving into the giant concave for Moosegills. As, he's trying to bait it in. I think Black Bear Me knows it, though. He's just like, what do I do?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those difficult situations. There is so much surface area here.
Yeah.
And these force fields aren't really getting much of anything done.
Photon Overcharge finally gets enough energy for that, so he throws that down, but I mean that's only gonna buy a little bit of time. And in the meanwhile, Moosegills takes the gold expansion behind all this and saying, okay, take the gold expansion, and he could even try and just catch his third expansion off guard once again if he wants to.
Like Moosegills is about to max out on Roach Hydra, and this is all gateway units. It is +2 Blink Stalkers and Sentry.
Yeah,
so he can take the battles, you know, in small pieces, but
don't want to be losing those sentries though. Yeah, I got to be very careful where they position those.
Careful.
Force Field's trapping the units in, but I don't think he wants to be trapping them in. He wants to be forcing them out.
Yeah, there's a lot of Roach Hydra here. Actually, 113 army supply worth. This is 2-1 though, versus looks like the 1-0 of Moosegills. So it looks like he's actually gonna hold, but he lost all of those sentries. Moosegills' economy
Well,
is
actually,
so good behind this once he starts
I
mining
don't even
from
know
the
if he
gold.
holds here. His stalkers are too low on health.
God.
GG gets called, and Moosegills just gonna be able to power on in and take it with. What was that game? That was a very that was a game of canceled thirds.
It was a game of canceled thoughts, ideas, dreams, hopes.
Oh my god.
As well, because he was just like, I want to go for the sick, mind game. I'm gonna make Phoenixes. Nah, I'm gonna get an Oracle now.
Can't do that
+1,
against.
+1. I guess I have 2 forts. I guess I will. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get. Like, I don't even know anymore, right? It's like
Can't do that against a player
I don't
like
know
Moosegills.
yeah.
It was just a
Black
little bit
Bear
too solid.
was indeed.
And Black Bear Me, after finally having his third deforested one too many times, Moosegills gonna be taking over, maybe building a nice little hut, a nice mansion over in the X-Force, maybe a nice motel you guys can go visit over in Canada at some point in the near future in Boreal Forest. But guys, that is going to be it for the Zerg versus Protoss. We're going to be jumping into the analysis segment. Hear good old Moosegills' plans for his future hotel in a second. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Welcome back for the Zerg versus Protoss, ladies and gentlemen. Back here with, of course, some Moosegills, and he's gonna break this game down for us. And also, I want to ask you, like, who is Black Bear Me? Because is it Panda Bear Me? Who is this? Because Tempo and I were discussing this.
I think it's the person who used to be on Solaris Gaming named Lucky. I'm not exactly sure if he changed his ID to this or it's just the alt account he's using, but I think I saw him streaming using this account before. So.
Gotcha. Okay, well, what was happening in the Zerg versus Protoss?
Okay, so this game started off with him doing a Forge Fast Expand, which is kind of a more, I guess, old school way to play. And the key thing that the Zerg needs to know when you're playing against a Forge Fast Expand is that if you're trying to search for where his tech's at, where his tech is at, he can basically only have 3 pylons to place his tech, whether it be Stargate or Robo, Twilight, whatever. And on this map, since you have to wall off with 2 pylons, basically you just need to locate that 3rd pylon that he's going to put his tech at, because most people don't really prefer to put their tech at the front because it's really easy to scout. So as I kind of moved in, because a common place to put their tech is behind their main mineral line at about 6:30 or so. I move in with my Overlord to check this, and what I see here was really unique compared to what you normally see. So I see a Phoenix building, and then I see a second forge. So basically, from here, I make the decision that because he's doing something kind of interesting and doing some type of double upgrade style, I decided to start speed and make a Roach Warren and do a pressure where I make about 10 or so roaches off of 3 base mineral saturation and 2 gas, and then follow up with Lings while kind of getting layer behind it, just because he'll have so much invested into the double upgrades and they won't be done yet. And even if he's not taking a 3rd, it should be able to still do pretty good damage.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that double forge thing, which do you think because I mean we're about to see in a second that the doesn't actually end up going for the +1 armor or anything. He doesn't actually end up doing that, and he actually ends up canceling the Phoenix and going for the Oracle. So I know that obviously at that point in the game, who's to expect that he would cancel his Stargate unit that he was building and then not go for the double forge upgrade? But in retrospect, is it something you feel like you've made the right decision that would still accommodate that kind of mind game that was going on?
Yeah, even if he doesn't, for the forge part at least, even if he doesn't start his double upgrades right away, it's still the kind of infrastructure that he invested in. So it's not like he can the forge was done, so it's not like he could cancel it and make something else that would kind of give him his return on investment. As far as the Stargate thing, it actually ended up working out for him, just because versus Phoenix, I typically like to make 2 spores, but make them later to kind of when the Protoss player would have 3 or 4 Phoenix, and they can really start picking up drones, just because usually with their first 2 Phoenix or so, they're searching around for overlords and stuff. But because of that, my spore was late for when he made an Oracle, and he actually did pretty good damage with the Oracle. But unlucky for him, I was doing quite a bit of damage with my army at the same time while he was playing drones with that Oracle. All right, so at this point in the game, after I've canceled his 3rd a few times,
That's the nice way of putting it.
Because I know he has to be on almost pure gateway unit type of composition because of the double forge that he had went for earlier, regardless if he like used them a lot or not. I basically just stayed on a single Evo chamber and went to 6 gas and took a slow fourth while just kind of attacking with Roach Hydra, just because, especially on this map where you can attack up into the natural and you don't really have to fight a photon overcharge from either the natural or the third. I was just kind of splitting my army up and trading with Roach and Hydra just because I knew that my economy was going to be much bigger than his, and eventually I'd wear him down.
Well, with that being said, thank you very much, Moosegills, for the final analysis segment. We're going to be going back to the interview where I basically get to grill you, and we get to get closer and closer to the fun segment. So don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We will be right back.